There we go. Welcome. Welcome to Tetris Tuesdays at 10. I tried to say that like Jurassic Park and it didn't work. Um, so yeah, look, nothing's gone wrong so far. So fingers crossed. We are starting a little bit later than 10, so maybe I should change the name of this eventually. But for now, fingers crossed, we're doing great. And don't have as much of a lead up to this week's game, this week's version of Tetris, because in the timeline, if you've been following around, I mentioned how a man by the name of Robert Stein, and it is Robert Stein, was the owner, operator of Andromeda Software, who was under contract to some degree with Mirrorsoft. And since Alexi's version, DOS version of Tetris, the one we played last week, had become shareable, eminently shareable, it had made its way all the way to Hungary, where Stein was walking around doing what he did, looking for games that he could make a buck on elsewhere in the world. So he saw Tetris, and I guess depending on who you talk to, but it appears he eventually came away with two agreements. He sold European rights to Mirrorsoft and then American rights to a company called Spectrum Holobyte. And also, depending on who you ask, Spectrum Holobyte might be the next version that was released. This is where it gets a little fuzzy. And, fun fact, when it comes to video game releases back in the day, is generally pretty fuzzy. I saw an article not too long ago, I want to say Polygon, that talked about how we really don't know the exact day when even Super Mario Brothers came out necessarily. It's not how it is now, where there's a big lead up and an announcement and a date that gets delayed at least 5 times before it's finally released. That thing. We don't know exactly. I haven't been able to find exactly when and which Tetris came out first. So according to, there's straight up Wikipedia, but there's also a Tetris wiki. And according to Wikipedia, it might be this Spectrum Holobyte version. It said Stein had not yet signed a contract with the Soviet Union, technically, upon making deals with Mirrorsoft and Spectrum Holobyte. But in January of 1988, quite possibly this new DOS version from Spectrum Holobyte came out, which I do have, and I could have decided to run, but went kind of with a simpler way. There's a few ways to emulate a Commodore 64. I do have that on the Analog Pocket, which I'm kind of anxious to use. So that's what we're going to go with. I was concerned, sometimes the speakers on the small device itself don't give you a great idea of what the audio emulation is like. So I did a good amount of comparison trying to make sure between this and, I forget, there's a few other Commodore 64 emulators for Mac out there, Virtual 64 and Vice, I believe, are a few. Tested those out. There didn't seem to be an appreciable difference, if anything, between that and the Analog Pocket, thankfully, because that's what I got it for. So we're going to play it on the Pocket, and we're going to play the Commodore 64 version, like I said, because even though Stein didn't have supposedly a legit contract with the Soviet Union yet, or with Alorg, he had, sold the rights to Mirrorsoft, and Mirrorsoft hit the ground running. They released versions 4, and these are going to be the next run of episodes, basically, of Tetris Tuesdays. Commodore 64, Amiga, Amstrad CPC, PCW, Atari ST, BBC Micro Acorn, Electron. Some of these systems have different names here in the States and in the UK. MSX and ZX Spectrum. And most of those look different. I'm not going to double up on anything like the Amstrad CPC and the Atari ST version. No, I'm sorry, the Amiga version and the Atari ST version look almost identical. So I probably will not do the Atari ST version, but pretty much anytime we've got a different, playing field or graphics going on, music certainly, I will do it. And speaking of which, music this week, folks, let me tell you a little bit about the Commodore 64 version. It's a bit of a no-frills affair. I believe you're going to see, well, let's just get into it, right? Some of these can be me not talking. That's what I've heard. So I'm in the analog here. Go to OpenFPGA. Oh, and that's the other thing is the keyboard support within this particular core, not great. It does recognize it as the strangest thing, but I can't get it to operate, or it's not a global thing either. It's not something that just the analog recognizes and can, sort out as it wants, at least when it comes to the OpenFPGA series of cores here. So I'm not using the keyboard, did my best, but didn't quite do it. That's part of the reason I was doing some of the virtual tests with the other emulators on the Mac to see if I could get the keyboard to work there. But funny thing about the Commodore 64 version of Tetris, no keyboard support. So as I was successfully emulating the Commodore 64 version, it was not working no matter what I did because I didn't have a joystick attached. There's no keyboard support. In a lot of these emulators, you can obviously tell the keyboard to be the joystick in some way, but I was trying to, get as authentic as I could, and I figured, well, if I'm going to be, fudging the keyboard so that it works as a joystick, I might as well just do the analog pocket, which does all the work for you, and I get to use a keypad. So I'm choosing my battles, and this is one I'm willing to lose. All right, we're going to go into the C64 here, which I guess I could tell you about there if you want to know the author and who made this up and made this possible. Thank you, Marcus-ZZZ. Run this. Oh, and the other thing I'll tell you is in some of those emulators, the emulation was so accurate that I did have to, I believe Tetris came on a tape and a disc. Commodore 64 ran tapes, which is just the strangest thing. If it sounds like I'm speaking another language, go look it up. There were computers that ran tapes, and like cassette tapes, like not joking. But it would emulate the loading and the button presses and all that stuff, which I actually loved and wanted to build into the show to some extent, but not viable here. So the analog pocket is also going to do a lot of fudging that for you. We're just going to jump right into the game, which is fine. We can do without 3 minutes of loading screens for Tetris from 1988. So keep that in mind. I started telling you that for some reason, and we'll finish telling you about it later. So to simulate me inserting a tape here, we go to Core Settings, Load and Start Program, and start Tetris for Mirasoft. I started talking about the music. Maybe that was it. Check this out. Oh, yeah. Just according to the Tetris Wiki even. Memorable for its stirring and epic 25-minute-long soundtrack composed by Wally Bevan. Also for the artwork by Stephen Thompson, which is now on the screen. And you can see, this is, if you saw elsewhere that I was hinting at, some choices that may have been made this week when it came to this particular version of Tetris. Tetris by Giger, maybe? Is that what's happening? Or H.R. Geiger, I guess, is I don't know. Anyway, the aliens guy. This Tetris very much seems, oh my gosh, I'm missing out here. And you're probably hearing an echo. I've got my monitor turned on because I want to hear it too, guys. You should be getting a direct feed regardless. You also don't want to hear it coming off my Macintosh speakers. Ooh, we did so well. We almost got through. Is this technical difficulty. Alright, there we go. And when I say no frills, that's where I was going. That's the thing I started out with. I mean that you can choose your starting level, but your music and FX do not play together. So we're going to stick with music for obvious reasons. I'm sure you can tell already. I'm hopefully going to be able to make this game last for 22 minutes so we can hear the whole track, but maybe don't get your hopes up necessarily. Yeah, so no wall kicks. If I put this up against the wall over here, I cannot switch it after that. Also, same rules. So if I let a piece reach all the way to the bottom, I get 0 points. I have the most points up top, and I gain the most points by hard dropping, which I'm actually trying not to do here for that last piece. The other weird thing you're going to notice, no set color. So I just got those two greens, and now this T is purple, whereas it was gray before. Couldn't even kick that. Also, there's no multiple inputs either, so you'll hear me like furiously clicking to get it rotated, but it's because I'm trying to. Well, off to a great start. Let's make it ugly. I'm trying to move it and turn it at the same time, and it does not enjoy that so much. Okay, let's start getting rid of some of this. So yeah, no sound effects when we're dropping pieces, but who can blame them with this music, honestly? I wanted to look him up too. I didn't get that far along my deep dive this time around. Whoever Wally Bevan is. And we might be starting with a showstopper in this one. Did I already go up a level? It's already seeming very fast. Already not receiving. See, this is really messing with me too. No. The colors, I mean. I'm looking for that piece that's going to fit right in the middle, but the colors keep throwing me off. Alright, well. No matter what I do, I'm going to create a spot where two lines need to go. Good gosh, this is getting ugly quick. Also, not the right piece. I treat this more like... I don't even know how this would work with the keyboard, honestly. Why did I do that? Okay, I got two lines in a row. That's why I did it. Not the right piece. I don't even know if this has support for show next, which is something that will affect the score anyways, so I'd have turned off. Finally, that is the piece. It looks exactly like that. I mean, I joke around with the artwork there about Geiger, whatever, but tell me you're not getting some serious vibes with this one. I'm also going to say no 7-bag system, where they eventually came up with the way to quote-unquote randomize the pieces, was to basically pretend like you have them all in a bag, and it basically pulls from that bag. We're just gonna do what we can, even though I gotta... Oh, there is a next. Look at that. Can I turn that off? See, the other games just had all the instructions for what you're supposed to do. Alright, I gotta start cleaning some of this up down here. But yeah, so most... all, maybe, modern Tetris games actually play that way, where you're drawing pieces from a simulated bag, so that you can never go too long without drawing a line or, of course, whatever you need. Which is kind of a miracle that still works, because that kind of means that mathematically in fact, this is probably how next level Tetris is played, but mathematically you kind of know, or even just naturally, I guess I should say, not necessarily mathematically, but by the nature of the game, that kind of works, rather than, alright, I'm just going to take what I can get here. Since I'm not getting a line. Alright, not bad. There are no bonuses for Tetrises. I'm just either doing that out of habit or just because I suppose it's not a bad strategy to have necessarily. Alright, this is we're doing alright, this is working out. We might be okay. See, that's kind of crazy because that looks like a deeper pocket than it was. Yeah, let's put that there so I can put this right here. But it's actually just a gray colored piece. This doesn't have any. Some of the other games had, like, you know, including the Electronica 60, lines on the screen, so I could kind of tell where it was going. I could lead the piece in a way. This has no such thing, so I'm having to eyeball it for the most part. Should have told you more about this game before it started going so quickly. Earn points for placing pieces, clearing lines, hard drop distance, like I told you. And yeah, no multiple points for multiple clears. So maybe I did tell you everything. Again, not a lot of frills. I'm going to do this because I know what's coming next. It's this. And I think the music's pretty good. Thank you, Wally. Also super impressed that it is 22 minutes, you know? I mean, I'm not doing too bad. There's a chance I hit that 22-minute mark. But that kind of does add, if you think about it, a aspect of you know, I don't know if it's goal setting necessarily, but you want to hear the whole song. You know, when this came out, you certainly weren't just looking it up on YouTube, which you can do, by the way. I can see myself playing this back in the day, being like, never heard this part of the song before. It is its own reward. Okay, well, that square does not have a home. Colors kind of match too. Don't like that. Now I need 2 lines. I just mean they match the somber tone. Alright. Okay, we're just gonna have to start. Nope. That's unfortunate. Turn! Okay, that was not my fault. I'm not getting any points for hard dropping at this juncture. Need to treat it like a keyboard. Single presses. We can do this. We can come back. We haven't heard the whole song yet. That was... It's okay. We're not completely down. Now we are. Gosh dang it. First place again! I would enter my name if I had a keyboard. No, wait, there was no keyboard support, so how would they have been entering their names previously? And now I'm thinking. I'm trying. I'm trying to enter my name. Hey, we can just sit here and listen to the rest of the music. How long have we been going? 26 minutes, even with all me talking? I think we can do another game. Oh, that was pathetic. 3020? That can't be a good score. I feel like if I could just start the game, maybe I'm blowing smoke here. Oh, keyboard. Here we go. Virtual keyboard. Now we're talking. Ryam. Dell. No underscore support? Commodore 64. Yeah, maybe I'm... Ryan Rue. Out of space. Okay. Mirror. It's a strange. Mirror Soft. I get it. That's who holds all the high scores at exactly 100 points. RT? If I can just replay the game and continue to hear the song, then... Oh, return. There we go. Yeah, we're back to choosing. Okay. Let's do music again. Let's hope it doesn't just restart the track, right? It didn't. Hey, see? Look at that. Alright, let's go for a higher score. What was that? 3,000? Hard dropping like a madman. You do something like that, and I can't hard drop, and it just... It's alright. It's early in the game. That we can fix. Trying to get the mix right on the audio, so hopefully the music isn't drowning me out, because it's really going off at this point. Clean some of this up. Well, you really can go a while without a line here. There we go. It did not do as much as I would have liked. It's alright. Probably should not have done that. That. I'm getting a better idea for placement of the pieces, which can't hurt. If I treat the keypad as if it's single button presses, that appears to be much more doable. Not the piece I need. Imagine just this song in a concert setting. This is going places. Oh boy. I just need to put something over here. We're recovering. Doing alright. That was, okay, good. Not the piece I would have liked. That's the piece I would have liked. Only counterclockwise rotation again with this one. See what level I am? Does it have levels? 3 squares in a row, all different colors. I'm gonna take what I can get down here. More squares. That was an issue last time too. I feel like I got a lot of squares. Got a line immediately after. Take what I can get again over here. Should probably be paying more attention to the next piece than I am. It's like my least favorite way to use the T-piece over there, because it automatically puts another piece on top of any space I need to. Obviously. Come on, 4 of those in a row? Oh my gosh, shouldn't have done that with them. No wall kicks, really. Came back to bite me right then. Okay, that was a couple lucky pulls. My gosh, none of this is looking very nice. Single presses. Single press. Oh. Really? Not even close. What if I don't want to put my name in? See, this is where the real Tetris effect comes into play. Where you start looking at the clock, thinking if you can do one more game. I do feel like the music has restarted at this point. Nope, didn't want that level. Maybe? You can't not do another game if the music hasn't restarted. Especially after that one. But I can do it, okay. Beating my top score. Here it is, in real time. I'll just play this one faster. That should work. It does kind of feel like the music has restarted at this point. Why am I doing this? Watch this. Nobody knows. Am I a madman? Why would I do that? Why would I create another spot right there? This is not a great start. I mean, it kind of looks okay, but it isn't, because I did that with those 2 stupid lines. Dumb! Another line that I need now. I need too many lines. really played progressively amazing worse games every single time. Like I said, the true Tetris effect also is that you don't get any better. That was a bad game. I need to play another. It's going to be worse. Before you know it, it's 3 a.m. Just kidding. You never went to bed. Is that the right piece? That is not the right piece. That is the right piece. Opened up that gap on the bottom, or on the right now, at least. If I can pull enough lines. Because when has that ever been an issue? No. Well, that could have been worse, actually. That was not what I wanted. Shouldn't have even tried that. Okay. Just to prove that I should have stopped at the last game. We're going to call it. So, that's Commodore 60 version of Tetris. Not bad, right? Kind of weird. Good music. Need to get a better lighting setup here. Alright, while I fiddle around with things. Come back next week for quite possibly, like I said, amongst all those Mirrorsoft versions, the Amiga version. So, that'll be next week. Thanks for hanging out this week. Goodbye.